In a long and very personal conversation with Rolling Stone, Gunn revealed that the public outpouring of support he received during that time, including from the cast of Guardians, fans, and colleagues, had a profound impact on him. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. There's no doubt that without that experience, I don't think that I would have written the Superman that I wrote, he said. I just don't think that a character that pure would have quite appealed to me. Gunn described that stretch of his life as a transformative experience, not just professionally, but emotionally. That opened the door for me to stop creating so that people would like me. That's downplaying it, so people would love me, he said. Everything I had done came from a pleasing place. That's exactly right. Which came from that kid in a dysfunctional family trying to make everybody happy by dancing around. Literally, that's what my F***king career was. James Gunn's Superman isn't just the launchpad for the new DC universe. It's also the most vulnerable, emotionally grounded film the director has ever made, but according to Gunn, that version of the character, and the story he's now telling, simply wouldn't exist without one of the most painful moments in his career: getting fired from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. According to Gunn, that neediness manifested in his creative choices, in writing characters who juggled for approval. How I got good at working with people like Chris Pratt is because he came in and I'm like, stop. You don't need to juggle. Same thing with John Cena. You don't need to juggle for the audience to like you. You're a fucking movie star. Just be present and show that natural vulnerability that's a part of who you are. But he admitted that while he was able to guide others through those emotional barriers, he hadn't truly internalized the lesson himself. Really good at giving that advice, but not taking it to heart in a way that was transformative, he said. It wasn't until the Marvel firing, and the unexpected love and support that followed, that he finally understood what it meant to create from a place of wholeness, rather than desperation. In a long and very personal conversation with Rolling Stone, Gunn revealed that the public outpouring of support he received during that time, including from the cast of Guardians, fans, and colleagues, had a profound impact on him. There's no doubt that without that experience, I don't think that I would have written the Superman that I wrote, he said. I just don't think that a character that pure would have quite appealed to me. Gunn described that stretch of his life as a transformative experience, not just professionally, but emotionally. That opened the door for me to stop creating so that people would like me. That's downplaying it, so people would love me, he said. Everything I had done came from a pleasing place. That's exactly right. Which came from that kid in a dysfunctional family trying to make everybody happy by dancing around. Literally, that's what my F***king career was. That moment gave that to me, he said. I'm not perfect on the other side of it, but my basic life choices are not made according to that anymore. People love him because he's interesting, but also having so much of him out there can also make him boring, the director and DC Studios co-CEO says of the Caped Crusader. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Batman's my biggest issue in all of DC right now, personally. And I'm not writing Batman, but I am working with the writer of Batman and trying to get it right, because he's incredibly important to DC, as is Wonder Woman, Gunn revealed. Outside of the stuff that I'm doing in the projects that are actively going, our two priorities are finishing our Wonder Woman and our Batman scripts. The biggest challenge James Gunn is facing with the DC Universe right now is figuring out how to get Batman into the fledgling franchise. The Superman director and DC Studios co-CEO revealed as much in an interview published Monday by Rolling Stone. During his conversation with the outlet, Gunn offered an update on the DC Universe's planned first Batman film, which he confirmed is still tentatively titled The Brave and the Bold. When he was asked broadly what his problems with the character are right now, Gunn explained, Batman has to have a reason for existing, right? So Batman can't just be, oh, we're making a Batman movie because Batman's the biggest character in all of Warner Brothers, which he is. But because there's a need for him in the DCU and a need that he's not exactly the same as Matt's Batman. While he wants to avoid delivering a take on the Caped Crusader that is too similar to the brooding, noir-inspired one played by Robert Pattinson in director Matt Reeves' The Batman, Gunn also said he does not want to go too far in the other direction. He's not a campy Batman. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in a funny, campy Batman, really. So we're dealing with that, Gunn noted. I think I have a way in, by the way. Wonder Woman, I think, is actually easier for me, because there haven't been so many infinite portrayals of Wonder Woman, definitely not in movies, but really anywhere, that there have been of Batman. Every single Batman story has been told. It seems like half the comics that have come out of DC over the past 30 years have Batman in them, Gunn added. People love him because he's interesting, but also having so much of him out there can also make him boring. So how do you create that property that's fun to watch? When Gunn unveiled the first slate of projects for the DC Universe in January 2023, the filmmaker announced The Brave and the Bold, a Batman film that would team the DCU's take on the Caped Crusader with Damian Wayne, Bruce Wayne's comic book son with Talia al Ghul. In June 2023, it was then announced that The Flash director Andy Muschietti would direct the film. Announcements about the project have since been sparse, but Gunn has now given comic book fans some insight into why that has been the case. In the same interview with Rolling Stone, Gunn also offered an update on The Batman Part 2, director Matt Reeves' sequel to 2022's The Batman. I'll also say, Batman Part 2 is not cancelled, Gunn said. We don't have a script. Matt's slow. Let him take his time. Let him do what he's doing. God, people are mean. Let him do his thing, man. As for whether or not Pattinson's Batman could ever end up crossing over and becoming the DC Universe's Caped Crusader, Gunn said, it would be a consideration. We'd have to think about it. We'd have to think about it. It is not like we've never discussed it. The DC Studios head later added, it's not likely. It's not likely at all. Fans of Zack Snyder and James Gunn have been at war with each other ever since 2022, but ironically enough, Snyder and Gunn are good friends. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. It was 2013 when iconic director Zack Snyder, who had previously directed Dawn of the Dead and Watchmen, brought us a film starring Henry Cavill in the leading role of Superman in a film titled Man of Steel. Even though fans of James Gunn and Zack Snyder have been at a constant war ever since the former was announced as the co-head of DC Studios back in 2022, there's something beautiful about the friendship between Gunn and Snyder. A certain section of the fans revolted when it was announced that James Gunn would be directing the upcoming DCU movie, Superman, previously titled Superman, Legacy, as comparisons and parallels were drawn between his vision and Zack Snyder's 2013 movie, Man of Steel. However, when Gunn needed to solve a Superman problem, he contacted Zack Snyder for some help. Ironically enough, although the fans are at war, directors James Gunn and Zack Snyder are on good terms, and have often had talks with each other after Snyder left the DCU. In an interview with Rotten Tomatoes, James Gunn admitted that when he found a Superman problem, he didn't hesitate to ask for help from Zack Snyder. However, when James Gunn announced back in 2023 that David Corenswet was going to be the new Superman in the upcoming DCU movie, people